in a peer-wise thread, I asked Fred, how do you think people will view Wolverine in light of whether or not the Geneva Convention applied to him? He said it's ridiculous. People will view Wolverine like a normal person. Notice the case shifts from verse prop, who tell you that they do want to create people who look like Terminators. Let's look at the characteristics of Wolverine. Someone whose bones are made out of adamantium. Someone who can get a bullet put through his head and recover in 2 seconds. Someone who has fucking claws coming out of his hand. Of course this person won't be viewed as human. Ignore Sam Bloch's analysis about us essentializing people and this constructivist critique of humanity. Your average person on the street, your average shopper, doesn't happen to be from Cambridge, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't buy into this constructivist approach to humanity, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to look at 2 things. Ben might be able to prove 2 things. One is that we think this causes more war. Second, bad war. Second of all, this is bad for soldiers. First of all, I'm going to do a social harms analysis really briefly. Then I'm going to look at the X-Men analysis, apply it to current warfare. Second of all, we're going to look at why this creates more warfare in the long term. Social harm. We told you about consent. We said we try and mitigate harms all the time within our military. The example that we get from closing is the Battle of the Somme as a legitimate way in which we experiment. Obviously, most of society reckons that was an illegitimate tactic. Moreover, we told you, and Sam didn't engage this, we told you you've got to balance other people as well. What about the Chinese prisoners who will be forced and regimented in these experimentations because it's raced to the bottom? What about their consent? What about these people who will be tortured because they're not viewed as humans? Completely dropped by Sam Bloch. So we think consent falls on our side. We told you about the problem of creating races, not the simplistic you create armed races, but actually, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that you actually do create races. What happens to these veterans after they come back from their tour of the Gulf later? What happens to go to their retiring home sitting in the corner with sort of claws? They're able to feel any criminality to other people. What about the fact that they have kids, ladies and gentlemen? You are creating separate races. You are creating a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where a group of people in a society are better than another group of other people in society. In history, especially our history, that hasn't tended to go so well, ladies and gentlemen. So quite clearly, we think the social harms fall on our side, something which Bottom ignores. Next, current warfare, the effects of. We talked to you about dehumanisation. We've already given you an analysis of why I think the average man on the street see these people as weird. We told you that people's ability to use that people's ability to adjust in a military conflict obviously depends on how they relate to the people they fight against. These guys go beyond analysis. I can still rationalise that the person behind the armour looks like me, feels the type of pain I would feel, also has been through the type of life experiences I have felt. Quite simply, you cannot project that onto somebody who you guys have experimented on, who you guys have imposed some sort of new foreign DNA on. How on earth is that in any way a comparison to armour goals?
What's better? Daddy coming back alive, or Daddy coming back with at least that coming back with collide with Kool-Aid or coming back?
Okay. Obviously, I don't think you guys are creating people who are invincible. Incidentally, if you do, you are actually creating different races, and your whole this is a different type of humanity is obviously debunked. Furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, we tell you that actually, no, I do think it's worse to create a whole new race with the associated harms than to create somebody who might live for an extra 2 days, right? Okay? Furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, we tell you that this whole sort of comparison between why, we do things like allow people to control their emotions just isn't the same thing as giving people the ability to fly or shoot out lasers from their eyes. We talked about legal systems, ladies and gentlemen. All of our legal systems are based on the idea that people who fight against are humans. You create an incentive for people to torture and experiment with the people they fight. We brought that to you in closing. How on earth do you treat somebody as a prisoner of war if you don't even know that they bear the same characteristics as the people who you think you've got a legal right to protect? No, thank you. Let's look at why this might create warfare. Now, let's look at Wolverine, right? Wolverine was created because the government wants to create a superhuman, right? They experiment, they put adamantium in his body, they sort of put him in a tag, and sort of stick there with an oxygen tank. What happened? Wolverine broke from that tank. He made it, otherwise, well, vengeance on all the people who fucked him over.
Hear, hear.
Who are the most angriest in society, who love to fight, and you're pumping them full of drugs. Often people won't like the result of the fact you pump them full of drugs. What are they going to do? They're probably going to try and get revenge and fuck you over. Shit. We've just created a group of people who are fucking better than us. We're going to fly, shoot fucking lasers in the eyes, and give a chemical bullet in 2 seconds. What do we do? I know, we're fucked. all this military efficacy that we have is actually relevant. If the chances are, there's a very good chance that even if it takes a small bandit of these mutants to try and take us over, it's true. That bins all their analysis, ladies and gentlemen, quite frankly. Darren.
Very movie you can give us for crazy humans is a little too crazy robots. The key question I ask you,
bullshit.
The key question I ask you is, you saw it, but said rural areas are meant to
and humans, ladies and gentlemen, quite frankly, we create superhumans, they are more powerful. Switch the power off with machines. Get away from that, but there are 2 things that are really none of this argumentation about why distributed military matters can turn on us. It doesn't matter as well, because this leads to an escalation of war, and what we've done to talk about that, report that to you. Furthermore, all this analysis about consent ignores the fact that the consent of the Chinese, for example, is undermined, or more fundamentally, what happens when you break through racists? Fucking destroy the world. So what that's a fairly plausible argument for why it's not to do it. But it's based on any principle that's down or anything